Ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely breathtaking news. This is hilarious. Pelosi says House may withhold impeachment articles, delaying Senate trial. Yeah, they want to delay the Senate trial because they know it's nonsense. They know that they just impeached the president, and they really impeached themselves. In the court of public opinion, they've indicted and impeached themselves. They don't want any part of the Senate trial. Do you understand? They don't want no part of this. They want no part of this because it's all nonsense. Moments after a historic vote to impeach President Trump, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said the House could at least temporarily withhold the articles from the Senate, a decision she suggested that could depend on how the other chamber chooses to conduct its trial on Trump's removal. Yeah. Oh my God, Trump called their bluff again. Now, if they don't have a Senate trial, then they have absolutely no chance of removing President Trump. They never had a chance to begin with. But I'm sure there's some kind of procedure which Mitch McConnell can be like, yeah, I think that we're going to go ahead and we're going to sign a document that says that President Trump should never have been ever impeached in the first place. And we're going to sign this document. It's going to be every Republican that's ever lived, past, present, and future. And with this document, the Democrats are going to be so moated. Oh my God. Who knows what's going to happen, but they're definitely not going to remove President Trump. The impeachment process was going to be so grandiose that everyone was supposed to say, "Oh my God, this man needs to be removed. He committed a crime. His authority he misused. There was misconduct. He tried to interfere in the election. He already did so. He already interfered in 2016. I mean, nobody was indicted on colluding with Russia. He found no evidence of collusion with Russia. Nobody was indicted on being a foreign agent, or there was no campaign finance violations, no collusion at all. The Facebook ads swung nobody in swing states. Not one person in Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Ohio saw Facebook ads and said, yeah, I'm voting for Trump because of this Facebook ad. Not one person. And on Twitter, if you see an opposing viewpoint, you are entrenched in your original viewpoint. You never say, when was the last time you were on social media and somebody was belligerent towards you and you said, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. You've really opened my eyes to all of this. Thank you for insulting me, person I don't know in cyberspace. Thank you. That's not the way it works. I'm not on social media anymore. I don't have a Twitter account, so that's a fake person. That's not mine. It's somebody else's that just doesn't like me. And so I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have a Facebook account. Obviously, I have this channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel, and I'm working on my website. But so that's going to be new and improved. I was going to start another website. I was like, forget about it. With this election is going to be. There will be so much to talk about. I wouldn't even have time with some kind of new website. I have this channel, H.A. Goodman's other channel. But what I'm going to try to do is put all my published articles from The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Daily Caller, The Federalist, The Jerusalem Post, Times of Israel, my appearances on CNN, MSNBC, RT, a whole bunch of places. I want to put them all on. I had a lot of them on my old website, but I want to put them all on a website that I'm working on. So anyway, there'll be a new hagoodman.com. Anyway, they're not going to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate. This is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. This is the funniest thing we've ever... could you imagine Mitch McConnell tonight? Pelosi says House may withhold articles of impeachment, delaying Senate trial. I told you, Mitch. I told you Pelosi wouldn't send any articles of impeachment to the Senate. Because they know what's up. They know they can't send any art. We're not going to remove the president. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, there's a better chance that Bill Clinton tells the truth than us removing the president. I've been trying to work on my Mitch McConnell. I'm almost there. But Pelosi says House may withhold impeachment articles delaying Senate trial. The Washington Post. Moments after an historic vote to impeach President Trump, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said the House could at least temporarily withhold articles from the Senate. Yes! Trump wins again! I love it! I love it! Oh my God! The malicious, the petulant, the miserable, the duplicitous, the disingenuous, the insidious imbeciles who can't even get corruption right. They're inept at even being corrupt. She suggested she could depend on how the other chamber chooses to conduct its trial. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're gonna withhold the articles of impeachment, not because they don't want Hunter Biden because McConnell's like, we want Hunter Biden, we want the vice president, we want the intelligence official, we want Adam Schiff, we want everybody to testify. That's right. We want a full trial. We want to find out what evidence you have. We want to find out why Marie Yovanovitch possibly perjured herself twice. When she said, well, I didn't ever heard anything about the vice president's son. Oh, yeah, I did. It's like a rewind. Like, you could rewind the tape and she's like, oh, I never heard anything about that. Nobody ever told me anything about the vice president's son. And then a couple minutes later, oh, yeah, well, we were given talking points. President Obama's administration gave me talking points in case somebody brought up the conflicts of interest. And you could rewind that, and then you'd hear her initially say, oh, no, never heard about vice president's son. So this is all documented. President Trump had an absolute right to investigate anybody he wanted to if there was evidence of conflicts of interest, and there was, and he actually is on video saying, Vice President Biden saying, oh yeah, we withheld $1 billion. You are not going to get the $1 billion unless you fire that prosecutor. Oopsie, the prosecutor happened to be looking into the corporation funneling millions to Hunter. Guess who's going to find out how much total? He lost the paternity case. So now the lady in the paternity suit wants to find out exactly how much Burisma paid Hunter. Game, set, match, game over. And instead of getting Trump's tax returns, they're going to get the vice president's son's tax returns because he lost. That's a different type of DNA test from Elizabeth Warren, who failed hers miserably. So, quote, we cannot name managers until we see what the process is on the Senate side, she said, referring to House managers who present the case for removal to the Senate. So far, we haven't seen anything that looks fair to us. Hopefully, it'll look fair. Anything that looks fair, yeah, if they want Biden to testify, it's not going to look fair to them. What looks fair to them if Trump is removed? Otherwise, he's not going to be. It won't be fair. If McConnell does not agree to call Democratic witnesses and stage a fair trial, they already had the witnesses in the House. If you can't prove your case in the House, why do you need witnesses in the Senate? But here, Democrats could simply hold to the articles indefinitely, continue to investigate Trump. Yeah, right. And then Trump still wouldn't, and then the Supreme Court would be like, yeah, you don't even, you know what? You can't investigate Trump unless you take it to the Senate. Oops! You're going to have to abide by Mitch McConnell's demands. Looks like you're up the creek without a paddle. I guess you're going to have to come to the Senate anyway. The Supreme Court ruled. I mean, they're saying they don't want to take this to the Senate because the Senate is not fair. They're gonna still investigate anyway because this has been such a great thing for them. They've lost the impeachment issue has actually, once they started impeachment in the House, people actually lost support. Democrats lost support from the average American, according to polls regarding impeachment, and Trump gained approval in the polls. So, I mean, they've done themselves in yet again, and now they're afraid to even take it to the Senate, which is absolutely hilarious. So here we have, all you hear, Trump is now the third U.S. president to be impeached. Yeah, and what? And each time they took it to the Senate. Okay, why aren't they taking it to the Senate? Pelosi says House may withhold impeachment articles. This is hilarious. This is absolutely, I mean, look, Bernie Sanders was almost nominee. They cheated him. Voters called their bluff, but the voters still went back and voted Democrat. Then they spent 3 years on the Mueller nonsense, found nothing, and nothing. There was no obstruction of justice with Mueller, and even though they said he obstructed justice, nothing to do with collusion. Even though they said he colluded with Russia, Trump, and they couldn't even incorporate anything from Comey's, the dossier he used, which was nonsense paid for by Clinton. They couldn't incorporate anything. There were no indictments based on collusion. Nothing. So the articles of impeachment were hilarious. I mean, it was just the two vague accusations. And then now they already impeached President Trump. But now they're not going to take Trump to trial in the Senate. And they know he's going to be acquitted. It's going to be a victory for Trump anyway. Even if they want Bolton and Mulvaney to testify. What's Bolton going to say? What's the homeless walrus going to say? Nothing. What's he going to say? Just yet another disgruntled person that used to work for Trump. You have all these people who were work for Trump, and then suddenly they suddenly get courage after they're fired. Nobody has any actual evidence in the form of no documentary or testimonial evidence. Nobody is sworn under oath that they witnessed something. There's no evidence in the form of any documents that says Trump withheld money because he was trying to interfere in the election in 2020. It's going to be Clinton 2020 anyway. This is absolutely hilarious. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. Ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to withhold articles of impeachment from the Senate. Pelosi doesn't want a Senate trial. They're not going to have a Senate trial. This is hilarious. This is a major victory for Trump because they're so full of nonsense. They know that they fabricated and set up Trump with Mueller. They found nothing. They couldn't even incorporate whatever it is they found, which was nothing, into the articles of impeachment. The articles of impeachment were completely vague. They don't accuse him of a specific crime with a legal statute associated. And now they don't want anything to do with the Senate. Why? Because if they ever got to the Senate, they'd have Biden testify, and the no malarkey bus tour is almost out of fuel. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. This is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazing.